only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
Welcome to the Common Sense Practical Prepper Podcast, where prepping doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Coming to you from a well-defended off-grid compound high in the mountains. Coming to you from his Florida room in Richmond, Virginia. Neither off-grid nor well-defended, unless you count his chickens and cats. Here is your host, Keith.
Hey everybody, this is Keith and welcome back to the Common Sense Practical Prepper Podcast. Today is January 2nd, 2024. Now, it has been several weeks since I had a chance to record a podcast. If you have had a chance to listen to the last 2 or 3 podcasts, everybody's aware that I was taking care of my father, who was in ill health. Well, unfortunately, my father passed several days ago, which explains why I have not been available to record any podcasts. And now that that has happened, I'm going to be even more busy settling his estate and all the things that come along with that. However, one thing my father taught me years and years and years ago is that you should honor any commitments that you extend out, that you extend to people. And even though nobody on this podcast has ever met me, they don't know me, as my dad would say, they don't know me from Joe Shit the Ragman, it's still a commitment in a sense. You all have decided to download the podcast, listen to the podcast, get a notification when a podcast comes up. So I feel obligated to let everybody know the reason for my absence and that the fact that it will be rather busy time coming up here in the next several weeks. But I will, however, endeavor to provide as much information and try to get back on track with these podcasts as soon as I can. Looking back on 2023 and then looking forward to what may happen in 2024, economically, I am not very impressed with what I see coming up on the horizon. Personally, I don't see inflation getting any better. Best case scenario, it kind of levels out, but we certainly have a situation set up where inflation could increase much rapidly than it has been in the last couple years. The situation in the Middle East has certainly heated up since I put up a podcast, about 3.5 weeks ago. We have the Houthi rebels, or however the hell they are, in Yemen. They have launched numerous drone attacks on both military and commercial ships. They've launched ballistic missiles or anti-ship missiles at all sorts of freighters, cargo ships, even some U.S. military vessels. Fortunately, a lot of those drones and missiles have been intercepted, but unfortunately, several of those have hit some of the cargo ships. I'm not sure if there were any deaths, any fatalities on any of those ships, but I know several sailors have been injured. So things are certainly heating up. The coalition that America was going to put together, several different nations, they were going to put together this coalition to try to combat these terrorists, and apparently that didn't go too well. I'm not sure if it's a very frail type of coalition right now. I don't think it's as broad and as structured as initially the United States wanted it to be. So far, I don't think there's been any direct retaliation from the United States towards the Houthi rebels or whatever they are in Yemen. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what we're waiting for. When they launch these missiles at our ships, and they're going toward Israel, and basically anything that's floating out there, they're trying to sink. Now, we all know that Iran is the largest state-sponsored terrorism entity in the world. They're providing these rebels in Yemen all the munitions and the financing, and so it's definitely a proxy war through Iran, very similar to the proxy war that we are fighting with Russia through Ukraine. On the prepping front, obviously things have been pretty much at a standstill. Had a chance to freeze dry more eggs as they come in. The hens are doing very well. The cold weather really isn't slowing them down much at all. So certainly impressed with them. The Golden Comets, it's their third laying winter. And the Powerpuff Girls, it is their first winter laying, and they're doing very, very well. So again, folks, I appreciate you jumping on here, listening to this quick update. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up on what's going on, that I haven't completely fallen off the face of the earth, but I certainly will endeavor to, as time permits, as things start slowing down a little bit, whenever that might be, I will certainly endeavor to try to get more content out. Again, folks, thanks so much, and I really appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. If I missed that, Happy New Year's, a belated Happy New Year's. And as always, take care of one another. Be safe out there. And until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Common Sense Practical Prepper Podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. While you're at it, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review.